The moment Pokemon Go released, the real-world setting was sure to cause some issues, creating wonky headlines and giving players the chance to blow up their Twitter and Instagram feeds with hilarious pictures. These instances highlight 20 times players' antics went a little too far with Pokemon Go.
Amazing!
Number 20. Poker Hoaxes. A brother stabbing his sibling for deleting his Pokemon Go account, an elderly woman shooting a teenager for trying to break into her house for a Pokemon, and a major accident in Massachusetts. What do all these stories have in common? Apart from spinning fantastic headlines, they're also hoaxes only possible with a game like Pokemon Go. Number 19. 99 problems, Pokemon Go might be one. Need an excuse to get out of going somewhere you're dreading? This Pokemon meme features the oversized Snorlax, and may actually come in handy. Number 18. Pokemon over pregnancy. When your wife is facing an imminent C-section, we can't assume the best thing to do is to whip out your Pokemon Go to capture a low-level Pidgey. Luckily, Jonathan the Riot's wife was a good sport and laughed it off, but we can't guarantee all women would be so accepting. Number 17. Pulling over for Pokemon. We'd like to give Beckham credit for having the sense to pull over to capture the wild Eevee that appeared on her steering wheel, but then again, there still had to be a moment when she was paying attention to Pokemon Go instead of the road. In fact, the Twitter hashtag #Don'tPokemonGoAndDrive has already warranted over 300,000 mentions, showing that we're not the only ones terrified of another means for drivers to not pay attention on the road. Number 16. Drone-emon. Well, it didn't take long for players to find a way to cheat at the free Pokemon Go. Rather than hunting down Pokemon on foot, as you're meant to do, you could do what this Reddit user did. Strap your phone to a drone and mirror your cell phone screen on your laptop. Essentially, you can partake in the activities of Pokemon Go without the health benefits of actually moving from your seat. Didn't take long for the gamers to outsmart the system. Number 15. Diglett in your pants. Is that a Diglett in his pants? Or is Klitsch Killer just excited to use Twitter? This lap rocket is just one of many Pokemon related pictures that will be penetrating their way through social media for the next few years. Number 14. Pokemon frustration gets you sacked. If you're angry at your country because Pokemon Go isn't available yet in it, then hold back on the anger. An Australian expat in Singapore named Sunny expressed his anger on Facebook, suggesting that Singapore was an undesirable place to live due to the unavailability of the smartphone game. He was sacked after Singaporean web users alerted his employer, real estate website 99.co, to the posts. Number 13. Doing it wrong. Maybe you're not the best Pokemon trainers out there, but something tells us this isn't quite the way to capture a Rattata. In fact, we're thinking the only possible outcome is a very, very sad homeowner, and the start of a trend of #Pokemon Lives Matter. Number 12. Pokemon Go walks. For the first time since last year's San Diego Comic-Con, thousands of Pokemon players gathered in places like the Sydney Opera House in Australia and Central Park in New York. These could go down as the largest social gatherings where people interacted more with virtual characters than the real humans sitting next to them. Many more Pokemon Go walks are taking place around the world, so expect random swarms of gamers rambling through places near you. Number 11. Rattata and Friend. When posed with a difficult decision, Twitter user DarkBlueCat must decide whether to capture the low-level Rattata or the decomposing corpse of its real-life counterpart. The dead rat may be a little easier to catch, but the smell left in the Pokeball is definitely not worth it. Number 10. Trespassing for Pokemon. We talked about the hoax of a young boy shot while trespassing on private property, but homeowner Boone Sheridan has found his home turned into a Pokemon haven. His house was a former church, and therefore listed in Pokemon Go as a Pokemon gym, meaning players were sure to flock, and flock they did, going so far as to block his driveway while mastering the gym. They inevitably congregated at the park opposite to his house. Number 9. Stripper-mon. This wannabe poker trainer may have his priorities a little out of whack if he's pulling out his Pokeballs during a striptease. More than just a testament to what's more important to him, Keemstar couldn't have been boosting the hard-working ladies' morale. Number 8. Dead Body, I Choose You. Wyoming teen Shayla Wiggins stumbled across more than she expected when her daily Pokemon hunt turned up the dead body of a man in a nearby river, thought to have died of an accident. After the accident, Wiggins states she'll return to the area to see if the man left behind a ghost-type Pokemon for her collection. Number 7. Poor Magikarp. Looking for a fish? That's really easy to catch. Magikarp seems like a good candidate. It seems to fill the pan up nicely. Number 6. Police Station Pokestop. Pokestops are popping up all over the place, and sometimes not in the most convenient of locations. For instance, the interior of a police station. Not really a high traffic area you want to be meandering in and out of. The Northern Territory Police in Australia have requested that gamers stop going inside of the station to catch their Pokemon, and they've also had to request a number of gamers to be vigilant when crossing the road and keep their eyes peeled. Number 5. Cheating trainers. These guys are up there with the drone operators. Cheaters have found a way to trick their phone's built-in GPS into thinking they're travelling all over without even leaving their homes. This allows them to completely negate the actual point of Pokemon Go while risking permaban. Number 4. Making a profit for free. Wouldn't you love to put little work and absolutely no money into something, then turn around and sell it for $100? Apparently with Pokemon Go, you can achieve this, as seen with this anonymous gamer from Texas who's touting a level 12 trainer with a handful of Pokemons. All of this free stuff can be yours for the price of $100 and your dignity. Number 3. Stacking it for Pokemon Go. When you're skateboarding, you should always be watching where you're going, not focusing on where your next Pokemon catch is. Mike Schultz learned this the hard way when he fell from his skateboard, cutting his hand on the sidewalk and bruising his shin. Did he learn nothing from hashtag Don't Pokemon Go and Skate? Mike isn't the only one though. There are a number of others following in his footsteps as we speak. Number 2. Alex Ramirez's Pokemon Go Adventure. What better way to boost yourself from small-time YouTuber to media sensation overnight than to fake a 911 call claiming you witnessed a murder? Alex Ramirez was streaming a session of Pokemon Go in between Uber calls when he claimed to have witnessed a murder, making a call to 911. According to Gizmodo.com, local police fully believed the call was a hoax, and though Ramirez was suspended from Uber for playing Pokemon Go while driving, his YouTube account skyrocketed to over 110,000 subscribers. Number 1. Poker Robberies. With an in-game item known as the Lure module, degenerates used Pokemon Go to lure innocent trainers in training to secluded areas to rob them at gunpoint. Clearly, it didn't take long at all for someone to find a way to exploit unsuspecting Pokemon players. About 8 or 9 people have already been robbed by 4 men over the past couple of days, and 3 suspects are already being charged with armed robbery. So, while enthralled by the game, just take note that criminals are still out there to rob them all. Have an incredible Pokemon Go story you need to tell? Share your tale in the comments and see if it's another instance Pokemon Go went just too far. Thanks for watching and subscribe to be amazed.